And breaking tonight, the U.S. Department of Labor says several upstate Sonic Drive-Ins are facing fines for violating child labor law. Investigators say dozens of minors worked for longer and later than what's allowed legally. Our Kelsey O'Donnell explains.
This Sonic Drive-In here in Simpsonville is one of 8 different locations here in the upstate that's owned by Atticus Franchise Group that's now facing penalties for violating child labor laws. Investigators with the U.S. Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Division says Atticus Franchise Group, an Atlanta-based private equity firm, illegally allowed 36 children ages 14 to 15 to work between March of 2021 and October of 2022. Those violations include minors working more than 3 hours on a school day and more than 8 hours on a non-school day, logging more than 18 hours of work during a school week, and working past the allotted time frame of 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. during the summer and school year months. In a statement, the Department of Labor said in part businesses that employ 14 and 15-year-olds must balance workplace experience with educational opportunities and be aware of the limits on these young workers' jobs and hours. An investigation by the Department of Labor unveiled 8 upstate Sonic Drive-Ins owned by Atticus Franchise Group will face penalties, including restaurants in Clinton, Gaffney, Greenville, Greenwood, Greer, Lawrence, and Simpsonville.
Real focus is in the 14 and 15-year-olds. That's where there's very limited hours that they can work outside of the school hours. And it's limited to 18 hours per week during the school year.
Upstate Attorney John Reckenbile has seen and represented people in similar cases.
I've seen that happen where they've had to be hauled back into court. The judge has every ability to sanction that individual or the business owner.
He says if the fines are not paid, restaurant and business owners could get called into court and possibly face jail time.
Each incident ends up in a fine. So if you've done massive violations, you will then be subjected to court punishment if you do it again or you don't pay the fines.
The U.S. Department of Labor says Atticus Franchise Group, the owner of this Sonic spot and several other upstate locations, is facing a $25,000 fine to address those violations. In Greenville County, Kelsey O'Donnell, 7 News.
The Department of Labor says in 2022, there were nearly 4,000 child labor violations across the country, an increase of more than 60% since 2018. Employers were fined over $4 million in penalties.